Catmat Lawler has sent shockwaves through South Africa with a dramatic statement delivered from behind prison walls. His words, spoken from a place of confinement, have reached far beyond steel bars and locked gates, shaking the foundations of political power and public trust. What he revealed about Boshoga has ignited intense debate across the nation. This is not just another political controversy. It is a moment that forces people to rethink how influence, corruption, and justice truly operate. The most unsettling part is not only what was said, but what it suggests about the hidden forces shaping everyday life. When someone inside the system dares to speak, the truth becomes impossible to ignore. Across the country, citizens are now questioning how much of what they believe is real. Catmat Lawler's words raise uncomfortable questions about secrecy, loyalty, and accountability. His revelations invite people to reflect on how often truth is concealed behind closed doors, even within their own communities. From parliament buildings to neighborhood streets, his voice has triggered conversations that refuse to stay quiet. Families, civil servants, business owners, and ordinary workers are now paying attention, because this story affects everyone who depends on institutions to function honestly. Although confined, Catmat Lawler's voice carries extraordinary weight. When a figure with insider knowledge speaks, whispers begin to circulate in government offices, boardrooms, and political circles. Power structures that once appeared untouchable are now under scrutiny. His statements are not limited to politics alone. They reflect on the daily experiences of people who rely on systems that may not always serve the public fairly. His clarity pierces through the illusion that everything is working as it should. Suddenly, citizens are forced to confront a reality that feels both shocking and familiar. The atmosphere across communities has shifted. Imagine a town hall meeting in places like Matlala or Alexandra, where a trusted leader is suddenly exposed. That is the tension now felt across the country. Taxi drivers, shop owners, teachers, and parents all sense that something fundamental has changed. Corruption does not remain confined to offices in Pretoria. It filters into schools, clinics, and household budgets. When justice is delayed or compromised, people feel it immediately. One revelation can awaken long-held suspicions and force communities to face patterns they once ignored. What makes this moment even more powerful is that Catmat Lawler did not avoid naming networks or connections. His claims extend beyond one individual, exposing how influence flows through political circles, business dealings, and silent alliances. Ordinary citizens who pay taxes and expect fairness often feel powerless against such systems. Yet when voices from inside speak, even from prison, they ignite national reflection. Every family touched by government decisions, every community affected by mismanagement, now feels the tremor of these disclosures. Government workers and civil servants are also reconsidering their roles. Many spend their days filing documents, processing permits, and watching political events from a distance. Now, Catmat Lawler's words compel them to think about ethics, loyalty, and responsibility. Justice is not only determined in courtrooms, it is reflected in everyday choices. Delayed services, mismanaged projects, and sudden policy shifts now appear in a new light. His voice has become a mirror, revealing cracks in systems that once seemed solid. For many, these revelations are deeply personal. A grandmother in Soweto shared how political interference affected her pension without her ever realizing the cause. Stories like hers reveal that this is not abstract politics. It is measurable harm to people who simply want security and dignity. The ripple from prison walls reaches kitchen tables and local shops. Citizens now question how much of what they trust is genuine. Power, once distant, now feels uncomfortably close. From an investigative standpoint, Catmat Lawler has exposed a recurring pattern. Hidden interference, deals disguised as routine transactions, and networks designed to protect themselves. Meanwhile, Citizens watch as public funds disappear into projects that never materialize. This is not just scandal. It is evidence of systemic failure. His words serve as a lens, revealing what many suspected but could not prove. Invisible hands shape visible lives. And now the public is finally looking. Even small examples reveal the scale of the problem. A teacher notices students arriving late because school transportation was mismanaged under political influence. It seems minor, yet it is part of a larger chain. Decisions made in boardrooms echo in classrooms, affecting education, safety, and opportunity. When someone like Catmat Lawler speaks, long overlooked truths are finally acknowledged. Conversations are now happening in homes, workplaces, and community gatherings. Every decision at the top has consequences below. There is also a deeply personal cost to speaking out. Prison is not just a place of confinement. It is a place of isolation and survival. Catmat Lawler's decision to share these details despite the risks reflects remarkable courage. Yet families of those named face suspicion, judgment, and even danger. Political intrigue is no longer distant. It reaches into neighborhoods and homes. His story demonstrates how courage, accountability, and risk collide in modern South Africa. Across the nation, from Cape Town to Polokwane, debates are intensifying. Citizens, business leaders, and civil servants ask what justice means when those in power manipulate the system. These questions are no longer theoretical. They influence how people vote, how they trust public services, and how they view leadership. The prison walls have become a broadcast of accountability, amplifying voices that challenge silence. Communities feel forgotten, frustrated, and betrayed. Catmat Lawler's words reveal how political games delay services, destroy opportunities, and erode trust. Families in places like Tembisa and Kaiche experience these effects daily, in long clinic queues, overcrowded classrooms, and stalled infrastructure. His revelations demand a reckoning. When influence outweighs accountability, citizens suffer most. Some voices in Parliament have responded cautiously, hinting at investigations while avoiding transparency. This selective response only deepens public suspicion. People in Mpumalanga and Limpopo whisper about deals they never knew existed. Watchdog groups and unions quietly begin probing. This is no longer about one individual. It is about networks, complicity, and how silence protects wrongdoing. The human toll is undeniable. A small business owner in Durban watches contracts vanish as funds are redirected. Her livelihood is affected not by failure, but by manipulation. Catmat Lawler's testimony reminds the nation that political maneuvering directly impacts income, education, and healthcare. People across provinces now question where fairness truly lives. A powerful truth emerges. Prison walls do not silence the truth, they amplify it. Journalists, civic organizations, and citizens analyze every word. Each revelation uncovers hidden relationships between politics, business, and law enforcement. From taxi routes to municipal contracts, nothing feels distant anymore. Truth finds its way beyond confinement. Families bear the emotional burden. Children overhear conversations they should not. Parents fear consequences. Communities debate trust and safety. Political secrecy disrupts lives, but demands attention. Institutions themselves are under strain. Morale declines, efficiency drops, and public confidence fades. Catmat Lawler's statement is a stress test for the nation's systems. The contradictions are impossible to ignore. Promises of accountability coexist with protection for certain individuals. Citizens see one face in public and another in private. Skepticism grows. Will justice prevail, or will influence dominate? His words force confrontation, urging citizens to question, observe, and demand clarity. Emotionally, communities are exhausted yet engaged. From villages to cities, people are processing what this means for their lives. School fees, healthcare, transport, governance. Even confined voices can spark national reflection. Every citizen is affected by hidden decisions. As the story unfolds, one reality is clear. Accountability is essential. Catmat Lawler's disclosures will continue to ripple through homes, offices, and communities. This is not just one man's story. It reflects South Africa itself. From prison walls to kitchen tables, it reminds everyone that vigilance, transparency, and courage shape the future. What happens next may touch your street, your family, or your workplace. And that is why this story matters.